And from this template, you really have a lot of options. So we're going to name this Project-Based Learning Understanding, or we'll do PBL Check-In. I can give further details here if I want. And so you've got multiple question types. You can do multiple choice. You can do a checkbox or a drop down. So there's your multiple selection options. But also, if you were grading writing, you can do a short answer for students. I've done a short answer for a fill in the blank, or write a paragraph. And then there's some more difficult options, a little more advanced, which would be using a linear scale. One of their new things is ratings, which is pretty cool if you're doing more of like a survey type assignment, and then a multiple choice or checkbox grid. I would recommend, if you're just getting started, to stay within this fill in the blank or multiple choice. Now, the problem with fill in the blank is that you're not going to have as good as options as far as the computer calculating the answer for you. They have to type it exactly like it is. So if I'm doing short response on a Google form, I know I'm going to have to go in and manually grade those and make changes. However, multiple choice, you're going to see, you can grade all by yourself. And so we might put here, what is we'll go even easier. What does PBL stand for? And so then I'm going to make that a multiple choice, and we're going to do peanut butter jelly, peanut butter Lance crackers, or maybe we have, project-based learning. Now, just to quickly show you the difference, I'm going to duplicate this by hitting this duplicate question, and I'm going to change it to a fill in the blank short answer. And so here, they would have to type project-based learning. But as the answer key, you can mark all other answers correct. So you're going to add the correct answer. So the correct answer is project-based learning. However, if I want other options, I could do it without capitalizing. And I could also add the choice of people answering with a hyphen. And so it'll mark any of those correct. Now, when I went into the answer key, it gave me a point value here. You can go ahead and set that, but we can also set all of them at the same time. I'm going to go back up to number 1, do my answer key. It's the same thing with multiple choice. So when I click answer key, I'm marking that that's the correct answer, and you can change that point value if you would like. Another thing you're going to want to check is that you're going to want to make sure, once you get done setting the correct answer, that you click right here in this box and make this required for participants to answer so that they can't skip it. Another cool thing you can do on Google Forms is if you want to add a question and you're wanting to import that from something you already have, you can import, using this import questions, from a previous form, or if you're collaborating with another teacher and they have a form already made, you can pull in questions directly into your quiz, which is great. Or if you want to combine 2 quizzes and make one, you can insert those from something you've previously created. Okay, we're going to look real quick at the settings. And so you can choose when you're going to release the grade. A great thing, especially in your classroom settings, is you can turn on this lock mode, which will keep them from going to other websites. If you are using this as more of a summative assessment, you can let them know which ones they got wrong. And then right here, when I was talking about making all those points the same, like if you just want a 10 question quiz, you want all of them to count as 1, you can count it as 1. Or if you like everything to be on a scale of 100, you can go ahead and set it to 10 here, and it'll automatically set those point values for you. You can also have lots of customizations, how you want it to be presented. If you go under this customized theme here, you can change the colors, you can add pictures. And so the nice thing about Google Forms is it works very similar to any other Google product we are using. When you get done, you're going to publish it, and you're going to set to who can respond to it. And so that's how easy it is to make these Google Forms. Now, what I want to spend some time looking at real quick is how we're going to use this data. And so one thing I would recommend is if you are going to use Google Forms consistently, you may want to pick one outsource to link your data to. So Google Forms will link directly to Google Sheets, which is very nice. I'm going to go to a previous quiz I've used where you can see what it's going to look like when you have those answers come in. And so this has 345 responses because we've shared it as a grade level. And so when I go under response, the cool thing is we can sit as a collaborative team and say, okay, where are our students really struggling with this? If we've got a lot scoring on the 40 range. And so it tells us our frequently missed question. It breaks down their score by their ID number. But then they also go ahead and give us visual data. So this shows which teachers took it. This one's their class period. So that's not really useful for this. But then right here, we can see on number 1 that 272 students got it correct. That's 78.8%. So it goes ahead and runs a lot of those analytical stats for us, which is really nice. And then what you can do with the responses, I'm going back up to the top, is you can view them in a Google Sheet. And so we've already exported these to a Google Sheet. And then from here, it's a lot easier to see. So you can change and sort by your name. What I will often do is if I'm going to use this, I'm going to sort it by teacher name. And I'm going to go in and pull my information. And so I'm going to pull my students to a separate sheet so I can easily calculate. And I see that, these right here are mine. So I'm going to hold down Shift to select all of them at once, hit Control-C to copy, and then I can move them to my own private sheet, or I can just move them to another tab. And from here, I have that data that I can really break down and dive into. One thing I've done differently this year is I have one sheet called Math Data for the year, and every quiz I give, it's linking. I can choose to link the data to a certain spreadsheet. And so I'm exporting everything to my Math Data spreadsheet so that when I pull it up, I have a digital track of all their different quizzes they're taking this school year, which is really nice. And so obviously this is where regular scores are coming in, but I have it divided by class period, and then each one I'm putting in their different answers. And so that is very quickly how we can use Google Forms for our formative and summative assessments and how you can look at that data and use it to further plan your instruction.